Part 3. 2B. Problems with staying single. Living alone is hazardous. Unpopular singles may sit alone for endless hours. Emotions usually become magnified with nobody around to buffer them. If you happen upon some bad or foolish idea, nobody can correct you. If your car breaks down, nobody in your house can drive you. If you lock yourself out or oversleep, nobody can let you in or wake you. If conflicts arise with multiple residents in a rented house or apartment, landlords will take their word against you since there's nobody to back you up. Danger from physical confrontations, accidents, and choking are also greater. You'll also pay all the bills and do all the grocery shopping, cooking, and housework. Lone people pay more for items since groceries are more economical when buying family-sized quantities. Therefore, singles end up eating and drinking too much or having food go to waste. Yet haphazard zoning laws bar non-blood related people from sharing a house, and some landlords forbid subletting. This forces singles without living relatives to live alone, exacerbating things further. Concerning sexual desire, all single men's unrequited sexual urges have felt overwhelming to them. Eunuchs are the only exception, castrated men, or those whose sexual organs never developed. That, along with those with low hormone levels who choose the religious life, defines biblical eunuchs, not some other reimagining. Men going without sex is especially difficult because society glorifies sex. A single man discussed his problem with lust to his minister, who responded by claiming that married men have the same problem. That is misleading and borders on deception. Throughout my adult years of being single, never married, I suffered overwhelming and bothersome sexual urges. While married, these inappropriate urges vanished completely via my healthy sexual outlet. After getting divorced, the identical problems resurfaced. One thing which aggravates that frustration is pornography, so let us avoid it. And Christians must present their bodies, or lascivious movies with lascivious content and whatnot. And Christians must present their bodies to God despite whatever passions whirl in them. It can be done. If not, Jesus would not have set his example. For men unable to find a wife, thankfully sexual desire diminishes with age. Very slowly. It's a very slow diminishing over decades. It is also advisable to have no contact with any ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, or husband who has found someone else. The odds of ever reuniting with them are nearly zero, close to zero there, and it will cause painful feelings. Also, keep off their Facebook or other social media website. Those sites only showcase the good which happens in their lives, never the bad. It always looks like they're doing much better without you. 2C, evils of permanent rejection. In Matthew 19:10-12, Christ's disciples suggested it was better to remain single. Jesus replied that the only men who can accept this idea are eunuchs. He viewed sex as only permissible within marriage. And so has the church for 2,000 years. Over 1 million men worldwide have an intense desire to find that special woman but cannot. Many are extremely angry or depressed about it. Some are self-designated incels for involuntary celibacy. Incels who want loving long-term relationships and the intimacy that comes with sex and sharing a bed, not just sex. Everybody should sympathize with these painful feelings and be supportive. It's a major problem and fully legitimate concern. This burden cannot be wished away. To understand the full extent of this problem, and I was going to say examine a website hosted by my buddy Kamib. He called himself that incel blogger from Croatia, a brilliant young man with a degree in medieval history. But now his website has been, his WordPress, they terminated it, unfortunately. After blogging with him over several years, I can consider him a personal friend, though we've never met. We live on a different continent. Also, read the autobiography of Elliot Rodger, called My Twisted World, and see other incel websites. Although you may encounter hateful and obscene comments on such websites, what is truly hateful and obscene is forcing men to go without sex for a lifetime. It's hateful and obscene to marry a man but have his family pay for the expensive wedding, divorce him 6 weeks later because of his mental condition, which he cannot control, marry another man 4 years later, put those wedding pictures on the internet for everyone to see, then pretend it was her first and only marriage, and deny that she even met the first guy. It's hateful and obscene for men to dump their wives because they got old, then marry younger women. Likewise, for men who propose marriage, schedule the wedding, allow the woman to don a wedding dress, then abandon her at the altar. Whoever is responsible for these abuses, which cause relentless sadness and humiliation, deserves severe legal punishment to discourage repeated behavior patterns. The laws must change to execute justice. One consolation that certainly eliminates some of the pain is great love for God. This is shown by the many historical celibates who found satisfaction in the single life. They were virile with the same, well, most of them, with the same desires as incels. Lacking that special someone isn't the only problem. The proof is that nearly 100% of people were single humans, 100% of people were single for their first 15 years, and 95% were single for their first 20. Most got along great. You didn't. You lived. What makes singleness rotten is people saying it's rotten. Again, these people and those who bloviate, that's spouting unsolicited advice about something they're ignorant of, cause the misery. If they don't shut up, we should shun them like lepers. Whatever religion perpetrates a gross class injustice is demonic and dead, as believers used to justify a two-class system, free men and slaves. In hindsight, we recognize that as evil. Yet we justify another two-class system, happily married men and lonely men forced into celibacy. Also, decent people recognize that it's unacceptable to deprive others who are not predatory criminals of their bodily functions. While most enjoy a peaceful night's sleep, we don't wake others with air horns. Kind people don't eat and drink in others' presence without offering them something. Respectable people don't prevent some people from using a toilet while allowing others to go. So don't support a system which causes some men to be deprived of their biological imperative, which would give them their greatest joy in an otherwise wretched existence. 2D, marriage-minded men beware. Men who have difficulty finding a woman waste their life trying to connect in bars or nightclubs. The only men who succeed in those situations are pickup artists. For men who lack special social charisma, singles groups are worthless too. Many women are there for fellowship with other women only instead of finding men. Avoiding these situations and using internet dating eliminates most of the pain of rejection. Although beware of internet dating too. I'll get to that in the next video. If you address an internet profile and they are totally uninterested, they simply don't type back. You don't make a fool of yourself by making advances towards married women or those with boyfriends. You don't waste time trying to connect with someone totally incompatible, since you know their vital personal information from their profile. Those who see your profile know your intentions and potential compatibility or lack thereof up front. And the pool of potential candidates is 1,000 times larger than those you can meet in everyday life. Stay tuned for part 4.